Hey, this is AJ, and this is not a handyman video. I'm out near Rio, Texas, about to hit the Devils River with some folks. Um, this is a river trip that we had planned for several months, and I figured I would just add it to my YouTube channel because it's part of my life and it's part of what I'm doing. So as I walk around here, you'll see we're at Amistad Expeditions. If you're planning a book here, this is kind of a layout of kind of what their place looks like. And you'll see behind me, I got the rest of my crew hanging in there. This is what the shuttle looks like. This is what the kayaks look like. So as I go down the river, I'll try to take a little bit more footage, so stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about geography first. Where exactly is the Devils River? It's actually located in Rio, Texas. And as I fly in here on Google Earth, you'll see Amistad Expeditions. This is kind of in the middle of nowhere in Del Rio. This is where you're going to start off your expedition, and the video footage you just saw is where we started. So after we got loaded up in Amistad, we headed up to the kayak launch point. This was about an hour and a half drive from Amistad. So it's mostly down a dirt road, so just be prepared for that. All your stuff's going to get dirty and dusty. It's just part of the process. All right, so we got the guys putting in here at the beginning of the thing. We got Diego jumping in the water here first. Peter and Terrence coming in hot. All right, so our plan is to paddle upstream here a little bit, do a little bit of fishing, then head down here to Dolan Falls, which is not too far down. Yeah, we got Kevin and Patrick coming in.
Come on, friend. Patrick, come on, my friend.
Ooh, it's chilly.
Come on, my friend.
Go on, go on. Water's a little chillier now.
Feels good. And we got Joe there from Amistad Expeditions. That's how we got out here. About an hour and a half drive to get from Amistad out to here, the starting point.
Go time. I gotta pee.
All right, stay tuned for more. All right, this is the start. We're heading upriver here, up to Finnegan Springs. So from the starting point at the kayak launch here, we actually went upriver about a mile to check out Finnegan Springs first before heading downstream. I'm guessing this is Finnegan Springs. I can hear water. So we're on the side of the river here, and I just kind of heard like it sounded like a waterfall, and you could see all the water running out here. So it looks like it's bubbling out from right over there. I don't know if I can get over there or not, but I can hear it kind of bubbling through. So I'm gonna see what I can do. Yeah, I was able to get a little closer. You can kind of see it's just coming out of the rocks over there. That's pretty cool. And it flows out. Water's much colder right here. Obviously, it's coming out of the ground, but it's pretty sweet. Well, this is the spring. Looks pretty sweet. So we just walked up to the spring, kind of bubbling out behind me here. I got Kevin in the background there. As you come walking through here, just be careful, step on the stones. If you see like a soft mud, you kind of sunk into a little bit. So just be careful, but that is cool as hell. Well, like I said, we went upriver about a mile, which meant we had to come back down another mile. And then we started making our way to the first campsite, which is River Mile 20. It took us probably all of 6 hours from the launch point to get down to River Mile 20 because of some obstacles and other things that I'll show you here shortly. All right, so we made it to Dolan Falls. We came up, we landed on the right side there as we're looking down the river, but you got to come to the left side to get down. And you basically got to take your boat from over there, over here, crossing through. Just be very careful. Luckily, we have 6 guys. We put them all here. Now that we have them all here, we're going to kind of pass them down one by one here to guys that we have down at the bottom. It seems to be the easiest way to do it. All right, so we got all 6 kayaks down. Now it's time for us to get down there and move on. So I definitely recommend taking a break and jumping off the cliffs here. Just make sure you're on the right side. The water's plenty deep. Go ahead and climb up. You can tie off your kayaks there to the right, and then just climb up the cliff there and jump off and have some fun. All right, so I'm just downstream of the falls right now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 more of the guys kind of waiting to come down. One of the cool things about this trip is it's just so peaceful. There's a little bit of noise from the waterfalls right now, but other than that, it's just cool. You look down, hopefully you can see into the water. It's pretty damn clear. You can see a lot of stuff. There's fish and turtles, and We saw snakes, wild boars, bunch of different birds so far. And now we're gonna head downstream there to where Terrence is and make our way to mile 20, which is our campsite for the night. So on this trip, we had 6 guys. Most of us were over 50 or in our late 40s. But the guy who's about to come down here is my nephew, was 27 years old. So I would highly recommend you bring somebody young on your crew if you can. First of all, he's going to show you how to do all the rapids without falling over like we did. And secondly, you'll see a little later on in the video, we had a medical emergency and basically left us without a guy. And Patrick here is going down the falls right now. Ended up towing that other kayak and doing a whole bunch of other heavy lifting for all of us along the way. So it was awesome having him along with us on this trip. So we continue to press down the river, fighting a pretty heavy headwind the whole way down there. Lots of beautiful things to see along the way. I'm not going to bore you with a whole bunch of footage, but we eventually arrived at our campsite, River Mile 20 campsite. All right, we've made it to the mile 20. This is mile 20, right? Mile 20 camp. This mile 20 campsite. This is what it looks like. Plenty of space. You can see we got 6 guys kind of spread out all over the place. So pretty easy to set up. They have there's actually like an outhouse with a bucket over there that you can use for your wag bags. There's a bear box over there as well. Then a few trees. And then in terms of kayaks, you can put your kayaks right in front of the campsite, or there's actually more room a little further down. So this is what Paddler Camp Mile 20 looks like. See the guys are all packing up right now. It's pretty big. I'll walk around a little bit so you get a sense. So as I mentioned yesterday, you can park kayaks here, or you can park them down that way. As we walk around the campsite, you will see, as I walk, like I said, the area where you can set up tents is pretty big. So if you're concerned about that, don't be concerned. And then as we walk up, you'll see this is the path to where the other kayaks are. Go down that path there. There's a bear box over there, and then over yonder, there's a bathroom. But anyway, that's what it looks like. So this is day 2. We just left Paddler Camp Mile 20, River Mile 20. The guys are coming down here. Today's a long day. It's about 9 miles. Yesterday, we left around 10 or so. We went upstream a little bit, then came downstream and took a lot of time fishing, and we got to the campsite around 6, which is a little bit later than we wanted to. So today we're going to press a little bit more, and as we head down, you'll see as you come down the canyon here, it's just beautiful. There's nobody out here, and the place is beautiful. So I'll try to take a little bit more footage as we go along. So we left River Mile 20 and started heading down to River Mile 29 campsite, so about 9 miles down. Mile 20 is on the right side, Mile 29 is on the left side. All right, so we're on the river by Turkey Bluff Canyon, and up here are the petroglyphs that you might have seen in some other videos. I'll zoom in and show you. So as you're coming down the river, this will be on your left-hand side, and the petroglyphs are right there. As I zoom in a bit, you'll kind of see them right up there. Pretty cool. You can't go up and actually see them, but you can see them from down here. You can see the rest of the guys down the river. So shortly after we passed the petroglyphs, one of the guys on our crew started having some serious problems. He was a diabetic and had all the stuff he needed to keep his diabetes in check while we were there. But some of that stuff started to malfunction on him, and essentially we lost the ability to test his sugars and to see kind of where he was. The last check we did on him, his sugars had spiked to a dangerous level, and we had an ER emergency room physician's assistant with us on this team who basically made the call that we can't control this anymore and we have to evacuate him out of there. So as a result, you see all the kayaks here kind of tied up. We had to backtrack a little bit to a housing area that we saw on the side and make our way up about 100-foot cliff and try to go seek some help. So that's what we did. So we're actually up on some landowner's property right now. We've contacted 911. We're waiting for a helicopter to come in to offload him. He's stable right now. One of the guys on our expedition is an ER physician's assistant, so he's with him. He's got him stabilized. He's waiting, but it's not something that we continue pressing on with the trip, at least with him. So we're waiting right now, like I said, for the helicopter to show up, take him out of there. And then we still have all the stuff. So we're probably going to make our way down the river with headlamps on, I think, tonight, just to close everything up. So just stay tuned for that. All right, so here's the update. It's about 6:45. We were able to get an ambulance for our friend. So he's making his way 2 hours to the hospital. I got the rest of the guys coming down here. Sorry, the camera may be a little foggy. But it's, like I said, it's getting a little bit late. We're pushing. We got a little less than a mile to get to Paddler Camp, mile 29. So we're hoping to get there before dark. We don't want to be paddling after that. So we're kind of in a rush to do that. We should get there in another 15, 20 minutes or so and then set up camp. All right, so we're waking up from mile 29 Paddler Camp. We're just packing out. I'll give you a quick tour of what's at the camp here. There's no facilities. There's no bear box at this place. So the campsite's right off the water. We got our kayaks kind of right down there behind the guys. You got a little bit of a layout area here. There's a sign here. That's how you know you're at the right place, but it's kind of behind some reeds, so a little bit difficult to see, but it'll be on your left-hand side as you're coming down. And that's a landmark reference. Once you see that kind of summit there, you'll know you're in the right spot. Then you come back here. This is where we kept our food last night, hanging up some clothes. A lot of rocky stuff. We got here kind of at dark, so we didn't explore too much. Now we're headed down river down that way. So if I look at the river, we're going down that way to get to the takeout spot. So when you get down to this place here, this is the takeout. If you see that little kind of rectangular triangle, actually looks like the state of Kentucky, or I think it's Kentucky. Right across from that, kind of hidden behind here, you'll see a little path right there, which is the opening. That's the takeout. So we're at the end here. We got Joe from Amistad Expeditions loading us up. Came up in a Toyota Sequoia that'll hold at least 6 passengers. We're draining some of the water out. Just a heads up, at the front of the kayak on the left-hand side, there's a drain plug. So you may fill up with water. And while I'm talking about it, let me just show you what the setups are. These are the kayaks that we had. These are the Diablos. So you have an area here for your dry bag that you can strap down. There'll be these fold-up chairs here that connect into right here. There's little foot pegs, so you can have your feet sitting nicely. And then in the front, there's an open compartment. It has a waterproof seal around it, but if you don't set it right, it could fill up with water. So bottom line is, if you don't want something to get wet, make sure you have dry bags. Then as we load in, we have another, I think it's less than an hour to get back to the place. And this is what the pullout looks like. It's a big kind of wide open spot. So if you are running late and you can't make a campsite, you can probably make it to this campsite and chill out here and get picked up the next day. So thanks for watching. I made this video because prior to going on our trip, we had done a bunch of research, and there's a lot of high quality videos out there, people showing you the river and whatnot. But I wanted to take a little bit of a different approach and give you a little bit more detail of the logistics of kind of going down with some zooming in shots of some of the equipment we used. And then the final notice is, if you do have anybody with medical issues, or if a medical issue pops up, be as prepared as possible. We ended up using a GPS button to hit an SOS, as well as texting 911 and running down to a house and getting a landline and calling 911. So have some backup procedures in place in case your trip goes south like ours did. But overall, I would highly recommend this trip. I think it was fantastic. Amistad Expeditions was great in getting us to and from the river and giving us all the information we needed. So definitely highly recommend. If you're a newbie and never done something like this, make sure you go with experienced people. This is not for the faint of heart. It was hard paddling all day long. Treacherous takeouts. There were leeches, which I didn't mention. Where the running water is, there's some leeches in the water there that might get on you. People were flipping over a lot. It definitely takes its toll on you. So make sure that you take this serious, because you are literally out there on your own doing this. And if something goes wrong, again, you're pretty much on your own. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you get something out of it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Thank you.